Here's a quote by a famous chef. Don't invest in San Francisco because you won't make it. He says this right after facing closure, chef unloads on the city. Stuff he's saying about San Francisco and the convention center. Let's get into it. Here we go. So Michelin awarded it 2 stars. Critics called it life-changing. If in your world a restaurant is life-changing, you live a little different life than I do. I mean, I'll go out to a good restaurant every now and then, but just not that often. And it's never going to be life-changing. I'll never walk out of there going, good Lord, my life is on a better trajectory now. Now that I've had that, whatever that was, that cheese sandwich, I don't know. But the accolades weren't enough to see seafood restaurant Afic into its 3rd year. Been watching a lot of the show The Bear. It's on Hulu. That is an amazing show. Not because I'm into food, because I'm into videography and the way things are filmed and the way scenes go. That show, you will want to take a Valium before every one of those episodes. It is that on your seat, sometimes anxiety producing. The Bear on Hulu. Watch it. Are we going to have to get a subscription to every you-know-what subscription service out there just to watch sports? It's wild, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I got that one. I got that one. I got that. You need them all to just be able to watch the basics like we had on cable at one time. When it comes to choosing where to operate a business, location is often the most important criterion. Location, location, location. We've replaced that in real estate to timing, timing, timing. It's true. But if you ask Chef Peter Helmsley of the upscale seafood restaurant Afic, it's beyond that in San Francisco. Just 19 months ago, the chef opened Afic in a cavernous, inky black space near the intersection of Folsom and 3rd Streets in Soma. That's South and Market. By the end of the year, it will be closed. Didn't even make it 2 years. Dose. No go. 2 years. Okay. Let's go to, where is this? On Google Maps, here is Afic right here. Here is Market. Here's Mission. Those of you familiar in San Francisco, you know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying, and okay, here is another kicker. Let's do this. I think it has become a thing now that we just don't have the Tenderloin on the map anymore. If we take away the word Tenderloin from the map, maybe the Tenderloin goes away. Is that how Google Maps works? Yeah, they're not wanting to deter business from businesses in that area. So they've literally taken the word Tenderloin out. I've gone way deep in, exposed out, and I've gone way back out. I've done it all because we did that for a while and the word Tenderloin would pop up, but it's not popping up anymore. How close are we to the Tenderloin? Close enough. We're within blocks, right? Okay, here's the Moscone Center. That's the failed convention center that he's gonna say a rather brutal description of the convention center. So you got Tenderloin here. You got our famous restaurant here that's got some very expensive meals. So think high end. This is some really nice dining. You're just a few blocks away from Tenderloin. And then you've got the financial district right in here, right? Well, 40% vacancy and a lot of big businesses that have left. You don't have the tourists going into San Francisco like you once did. You don't have the high-end business meals being consumed. And undoubtedly, you've got a negative impact from the Tenderloin. Now, why would you place a restaurant here? Because San Francisco, when they probably negotiated their lease, it's been super expensive. Commercial real estate is super expensive. So you go where you can to try and make it. And this guy did. So just 9 months ago, the chef opened Afic in a cavernous inky black. By the end of the year, it's closed. Helmsley, the chef, is adamant that it wasn't the food or even the $215 price tag on the 11-course tasting menu that caused the restaurant to fold. He blames the city. Oh, shocker. If I could have found a better location, I would have, Helmsley told the Standard, but it's expensive and hard. And for those who can't, the lesson is don't invest in San Francisco because you won't make it. That sucks. That sucks. And San Francisco for years and years and years has been a place where you could make it. with a really upper end expensive seafood restaurant. Doesn't that look nice right there? That look nice. You know what? Give me a good brew pub. I'm golden. Give me a pizza place. I'm okay. This, if I'm going to have to put on a suit and tie or a sports coat, I'm out. I'm literally just out. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Somebody else is paying, Sean. Yeah, I don't care. I'll be down the block drinking a beer, doing something else. I'm not going in. I can't even read the menu. And when they bring out the food, it's these bite-sized portions that are just tiny. And I'm like, where's the rest? Where's the rest? Oh, it's gourmet, Sean. You don't understand. You're like, right, I don't. I'm hungry. I need to eat. Afic, which opened in March of 2023, is one of the most ambitious fine dining restaurants to debut in post-pandemic San Francisco. But on Friday morning, via an Instagram post, Helmsley announced that the final day of service at 816 Folsom Street will be December 21st, right before Christmas. Isn't that a nice little Christmas treat for all those employees? Hey, you get to spend Christmas with your family. Yeah, we'll be broke, but you know what. The news shocked fans who flooded the post with mournful comments and called it a loss for the city. It is. It is. But you've also got an economic factor in San Francisco that it hasn't faced down ever like this, I don't think. 40% vacancy in commercial. They're saying that is petering out. But okay, maybe we get to 42, 43, and then we call it good. And then do we have a bunch of businesses coming back in? Man, I don't know. Such a heavy heart hearing this, wrote one diner. Hoping this is not a goodbye, posted another. Well, it's a goodbye for now. So there's an abrupt end to the restaurant's brief but seemingly successful run. Just 8 weeks prior, Helmsley and the Afic team celebrated the fact that the restaurant had retained its coveted Michelin star and earned a separate award for its one-of-a-kind bar program, which includes producing a proprietary gin in a mad scientist-like lab hidden behind the dining room. They're always coming up with new tweaks on, hey, we do drinks and we do food. How can we do that differently? Well, it's a lot of what they explore on The Bear as well, right? Jamie Lee Curtis in The Bear is fantastic. She's psychotic. She is just Looney Tune. Remember her in, what was it, Friday the 13th? It was Halloween. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. Yeah, that was something. Less than a year ago, a San Francisco Chronicle critic claimed that Afic's seafood-eccentric menu might change your life. Okay, all right. I am just not evolved enough for that to be a thing to me. Just the week before the closure announcement, the Afic team rolled out a 16-course tasting menu at $295, its most expensive offering yet. Build it and they will come? Didn't work in this case, did it? No. In the Instagram post, Helmsley expressed in candid terms exactly why he decided to throw in the towel. On top of industry-wide issues, including the rising price of ingredients and labor, Helmsley called Afic's location on the southwest side of the Moscone Center. Remember, we looked at that location, and I said he's going to reference this. Moscone Center, the, quote, ugly butt end of a desolate convention center suckhole. Let that sink in. That is how a chef of an upper-end restaurant and owner is describing Moscone Center, which used to be like the convention center, right? That's where you went. It's where you had all your stuff. He's close to there, thinking all these people coming in to do business in San Francisco. Game on, man. Here's my $295 16-course meal. Man, if it goes beyond a couple of courses, I'm getting bored. I'm like, hey, when's dessert coming? You know what I mean? It's just not my thing. I sat through probably an 8-course meal. I think it was Taiwanese not long ago. And that was kind of fun, but I knew it had an end. 16? Oof. The ugly butt end of a desolate convention center suckhole. That is derogatory without being crude. Right? It's right in there. A juicy quote that understandably showed up in headlines. Now, real quick, let's just see what those headlines looked like. See if we can. Yeah, desolate convention center suckhole. That is so funny. Helmsley told the Standard he saw the writing on the wall in recent weeks. Had been a slow spring and summer, but as usually busy fall season set in, reservations weren't picking up. I knew that forecasting into the spring and summer of yet another year probably wasn't going to work, and that was the time to call it, he said. Man, they bring investors in on these restaurants, put up a lot of money, run for a couple of years. They need to run for a while to make their money back. This one, somebody is losing they're losing their capital. It'd be easy to write off Helmsley as bitter, but there's evidence to back up his experience. Tourism industry experts confirmed last month that 2024 has been a big letdown for San Francisco. This year, the Moscone Center will host just 25 events, down from 34 in 2023. Yeah, you know what? And I talked to so many of you at the beginning of the pandemic when we were talking about San Francisco, and a number of you reached out and said, hey, I've either run convention center, events, done a ton of stuff like that. San Francisco is off limits. Portland is off limits. Seattle is off limits. We're not dealing with putting our people, our clients, into that kind of environment. You've got other cities to go to that aren't run, like third world countries. And it's true. High-spending international tourists, the kind who might have splurged on a fancy dinner at Afic, haven't returned to the city. That whole doom loop thing. Interesting. Helmsley points out that he's not the first to note the impossibility of keeping a restaurant alive in Soma these days, even at a more approachable price point. 2022, Pizzeria 00. Now we're talking. They ended its 12-year run next door. Owner Bruce Hill also cited location as the key issue. I truly feel if 00 was in a neighborhood location, we'd be fine, meaning the burbs. But you don't have the foot traffic from the financial district, and you've got negative foot traffic from the influence from the Tenderloin. I mean, literally, how many times have we talked about Union Square, the shopping area, the shopping center, hotels and all that stuff? I mean, he's right there. That should be a plus to be that close. And it is a huge, huge negative, right? I don't think there is anything left in this. But okay, so the other funny thing that we're going to read here, this is the instapundit.com. So they printed up this whole story from the Standard. That's where we were reading it. Well, to be fair, San Francisco politicians have much more important priorities these days than keeping their city's businesses alive and tourists flying, bringing their disposable income with them. So these are some of the news stories that this article is citing. This is what San Francisco is doing. They're not working on, making things safer, making things any better. San Francisco's auditing 98 monuments to remove those deemed racist or sexist. So we're working on monuments. San Francisco police are fighting crime by dressing up in inflatable chicken costumes to catch drivers speeding through crosswalks. Inflatable chicken costumes to catch drivers speeding through crosswalks. Okay, all right. Hey, I'd probably pay $1 to see a cop in a chicken costume. All right, see how this goes. San Francisco flew the Appeal to Heaven flag until Saturday. What? I don't even know what that means. San Francisco spends $5 million of taxpayer money to give free beer and vodka shots to the homeless. I think we covered that. I mean, that's too good not to cover. San Francisco mayor appoints drag queen to the head office of transgender initiatives. It's going to work out good. It should be fine. I mean, well, why not? Yeah. No, these are things literally San Francisco is doing instead of the basics, which is, hey, let's make the streets safer. Let's get the poop off the streets. Let's get the homeless a little bit squared away. And by homeless, I mean not just clearing out and camping after camping, actually placing them somewhere so their lives can get better, i.e. prison if they're criminals, psych ward if they're a nut job and they need help, detox treatment because they might, be psycho and need detox treatment from all the drugs they're taking. Some combination therein, and you clean up the streets. But we're just not doing that, right? You're going to have to do that involuntarily to a bunch of them. But that's not the case. San Francisco's train system is still running on floppy disks. It's another story. San Francisco officials weigh in on departure of Elon Musk's ex-headquarters and say, good riddance. We're glad Elon's gone. He was an annoyance. Good riddance. Yeah, how many square feet did he take up there? And how much did he crap on San Francisco as a result of moving to Texas? Yeah, a lot. The doom loop continues. And unfortunately, this restaurant, this really expensive restaurant, it's going to go by the wayside because San Francisco can't seem to manage its doom loop, narrative that keeps on going because it's a loop. It's a loop. Once you get in it, tough to get out. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.